in a lot of different, sectors of our everyday lives, in terms of politics, in terms of, I don't know his level of education, but I want to believe he has somewhat education because, he latched onto the opportunity. Artists out of hunger, out of desperation, out of, wanting to prove that, yeah, they've made it and jumping on to sign any contract without some of these clauses that. What up? This is Present, and I'm back on the Afro Lockoff show on Clickshot Pictures Network. And today we will be doing a case study with the late, and I humbly say, the late Mohbad, who recently lost his life while struggling and dealing with record label issues. Now, let's delve into the conversation. Now, whatever I'm about to say is my own opinion. It's my own suggestion. This is what I think. I'm just reasoning. I'm just here to reason out loud with all of you, music lovers or Afrobeats fans or, people that are into the journey of Afrobeats, and what this journey is doing for the whole African continent. So yeah, now this is what I'm bringing to your attention. Whatever situation Mohbad was going through with his record label, isn't it today's problem? And just like how Africa has a lot of struggles in a lot of different, sectors of our everyday lives, in terms of politics, in terms of, infrastructure, in terms of education, there's, Africa in a whole is still a developing continent, from, time and time and history and, time and time of, a whole continent being oppressed. And so I'm just going to narrow down my conversation into, this whole Afrobeat movement and, new artists jumping onto the bandwagon of signing to record labels with little or no knowledge of exactly what they are signing most of the time, and okay, so let's use respectfully, let's use Mohbad as an example. Yeah, so now this is this gentleman who is a street rapper, yeah, from sources, online and, a few videos that we've seen around. He started as a street rapper, dropping out freestyles on the internet, Now, I don't know his background but from all the conversations that has been going on since he passed, it's evidently clear that he's not from a rich background. And so as a lot of young artists on the African continent, majority of them seek or sought to music as a way out of whatever situation they find themselves. And so saying that, and if you've lived in any part of the African continent, you can tell the struggle is real, and so imagine a child who is coming up, even in the first place, from a typical African household, when careers are being recommended for kids whilst growing up, music is not a choice. Like, music is never a thing where, a parent, it's not common for a parent to say, oh, I can see my child is gifted with music, so, you wish for them to grow up to become a musician. Like, majority of the time it's just the same old doctor, pilot, judge, lawyer, like all the corporate, hashtags that, African parents like to subscribe to. So if you say you want to do music from an early age, you are somehow seen as somebody who wants to go wayward. So with me saying that, that was just a by the way for you to get an understanding of, where some of these young artists are coming from which is a majority of them are not from well-to-do homes. And so imagine in the case of this young, Mohbad coming up, struggling on the street, busting out freestyles, gaining recognition on the street, bringing it onto the internet, amassing a lot of followers. And then lo and behold, a record label deal comes his way. Now, I know a lot of people will say, get a lawyer, get people to read your contract. But I'm telling you, a hungry man does not know lawyer. A hungry man, like somebody who is like, who is seeking help. You're not like, that is not gonna be the first thing you think about. Let me go get a lawyer so they can come and read into. Like, I'm telling you, like, if an artist does that, the first thing the investor is gonna think is, oh, so you're trying to, like, it's not common. So, and majority of the time, once a new artist says, oh, let me get my contract to a lawyer, most of the times the contract doesn't go through because, some of these record labels, quote unquote, are predators. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes they come in the form of, oh, I've seen your talent, I want to help you, I want to sign you, and this is not even just a case of Mohbad. I'm speaking generally on the African continent. I don't know about other continents in other parts of the world, but I'm talking about Africa generally, and what is a popular practice, and so Mohbad gets a record label contract. I'm not involving whoever he signed with in this conversation. I'm just giving you a general perspective of why young talents fall victims to some of this, situations that they later in their careers realize this situation isn't for me, or this situation isn't a thing I should have subscribed to. So with me saying that, he gets somebody that comes up to say, hey, I want to give you XYZ amount. And don't forget, remember, this guy is a street rapper. I don't know his level of education, but I want to believe he has somewhat education because, he latched onto the opportunity and signed a contract with the record label. And you see, majority of the time, that's what I'm saying. When these guys are on the streets rapping, they are soliciting for help. And so anybody that comes around them that speaks of investing in them, because they care so much about the talents they have and how they want to be popular and how they want people to see them, having an actual look of the contract is the last thing most of them do, And some of these record labels, sometimes they don't come with bad intentions, but it's just the business of the day. If I'm bringing XYZ amount of money to come and invest in you, pick you from nowhere and put you somewhere, I want to make sure that I'm able to get my money properly. Now, the structures in the African music industry that really functions properly, is via performance and endorsement. Streams gives you popularity, makes you popular, but streams does not pay properly. Some of these guys will tell you streams do not pay properly. Just a handful of artists that can boldly say they are making any money from their streams. On the African continent, how most artists earn a living is when they are booked for shows, either locally or internationally, or when they get endorsement deal, either locally or internationally. You get what I'm saying? And this is how most of them thrive. And that's why, it's very important for them to, go under an umbrella who is able to help them negotiate, when they're getting shows or when they're getting, endorsement deals. You get what I'm saying? And so, and this thing I'm talking about is a general conversation I'm having. I'm only using Mohbad as a case study because he is one out of a million people that are, falling victims to bad record label deals on the African continent. And now that, Afrobeat has become so big, there are a lot of international labels trooping down to Africa, signing most of these guys, who have no idea, what these whole deals are about. Because I'm telling you, most of them are signing 360 deals, or they are signing, if there's 420, or like what, most of them are signing through smaller sub labels that trickles all the way into a bigger label. You get what I'm saying? And so by the time everybody take their percentage of whatever money the artist is making, whatever gets to the artist is just some small portion. It's just a small portion. You get what I'm saying? And so Mohbad signs this contract, jumps onto this record label. The first year, second year is all looking good because he's getting shows. He's able to travel with ease. Somebody's funding his ins and outs. So he's looking good. He's happy. He's making music. He's doing whatever he needs to do to make the label happy, so that he can also break bread. You get what I'm saying? And so now, eventually it will get to a stage where the artists will outgrow a previous contract they signed. If they become popular, if they blow, if they become, if they become 3 times more popular than how they were before they signed the contract, you see. But then most of the times, these record labels are not able to upgrade the artist's contract for them because they feel like, okay, your previous contract, I haven't milked my input that much for me to upgrade for you. These are some gems that I'm dropping. I'm not gonna say they are facts, but these are some gems. If you know the industry, you will understand what I'm saying. So say an artist, or say Mohbad goes to the record label and says, I have outgrown my first, contract. And so I'd want us to, recycle the contract, or, have a relook at the previous contract. I'm pretty sure the record label is not going to jump hooray and say, yes, let's change it, because they feel like the first initial agreement that has made me invest this amount of money, I haven't made any gains yet, or I haven't made up to what I have invested so far. And so you coming back to say, okay, cool. Example, if we sign 70-30 as an initial contract, and a year or two, you come back to say, let's upgrade to a 50-50 contract, the record label will feel like, listen, I've signed you a year or two, and don't forget, within this year or two, is more promotion, is more videos, is more, footing the bills for the artists, moving, going here. You have to get them somewhere. You have to get them a house. You have to get them cars. I'm just playing the devil's advocate because I want people to understand why a struggling artist would jump to any contract, and why a record label will refuse to upgrade your contract for you under a year or two when you feel like you are more popular than how you were before. You get what I'm saying? So now you as the artist, you feel like, okay, you've outgrown your contract, you want a new contract. Obviously, it's not going to be a walk in the park unless there are some exceptions. And these exceptions have to be in your contract before you sign. If your contract says, we estimate that within this 1 or 2 years, you've made X, Y, or Z. If you make more than X, Y, or Z in figures, then we will upgrade your contract. You see, so some of these people, some of these young artists, out of hunger, out of desperation, out of, wanting to prove that, yeah, they've made it, and jumping on to sign any contract without some of these clauses that protects their interest. They sign this contract, and then later on, they feel like they are doing more because they are more popular, people know them, people see them, so their expenses go up, family pressure, friends, everything is is way bigger than what they imagined previously. And so now they want more money, or they want to change their contract, or they want out of the contract. Now, anywhere in this world, if you sign a record label deal and you want out of your contract, you have to buy yourself out of the contract. And this is why you hear artists say about, like when you hear big artists say, I was able to pay myself out of the contract, it means they paid back all every money that has been invested in them. And so you as a new artist, if you've not made a significant amount of money, not the money the record label is, you using for your ins and outs, privately by yourself, if your profits from whatever that is that whatever you're being paid, is not enough to buy you out of your contract, understand and respect the contract you have and finish it, because record labels are not gonna let you go free. Hence why most artists end up losing their lives, because the record labels are not gonna let you just walk over them. So understand, this is a case study. I'm using Mohbad as an example because this guy, from all indications, is so talented. He is big, he is popular, but I don't know whatever contract he signed, social media hearsays, kind of gives the vibes that, his departure from his record label was amicable and everybody went their separate ways. But sometimes, for face value, record labels will say, okay, you're cool. But deep down within their hearts and in their pockets, when they know they've lost a lot of money on you, they are not gonna let you go freely. You get what I'm saying? And so, please, young artist, make sure that whatever contract you're signing, if you're getting 10, 90, 10 for you, 90 for the record label, have a clause in your contract that will allow you to upgrade your contract. So you always go in to sign a contract with this understanding. Okay, boss, you're signing me. We should have a figure, an imaginative figure. Okay, you're signing me with 5,000. Now, this 5,000, let's say within a year or two, because every record label wants profit. So within a year or two, if I'm able to make you 10,000, we are going to change my contract. It's just as simple as that. Make sure this understanding is built properly. And so even if they sign you for 5 years, if they sign you for 5 years and within a year or two, you're able to make them 10,000, then whatever contract you started with them can be upgraded. You can upgrade the contract. But if you don't have any clause in that contract that says that, then they won't let you go for free. And I'm saying this because I know there are a lot of artists on the continent that are signing, especially new artists. I'm not even worried about the old artists because, or the experienced artists. I'm talking about the fresh artists who are hungry, who are coming from poor backgrounds. All right, so if you've watched this video up until this point, my ambience light went off, so I had to quickly adjust it to get it back on so I can continue the video. Kindly like, share, subscribe to this channel for more future updates. Thanks. And so, a piece of advice to all new artists: always make sure your contract is renewable. Your contract can be upgraded, and make sure you understand simple, plain English, where if they write anything that is beyond your understanding, is, you don't understand what they've written, let them explain to you. Better still, find somebody who understands the English or whatever writing they've written. You can use Google to interpret everything, anything, ask questions. Don't get too excited and sign away your life, your future. You get what I'm saying? Because if you've not made a lot of money, or if you're not lucky and this record label drops you, that's your whole life gone down the drain. Yeah, and so yes, today's video is just a simple, short, straight video, a piece of advice using Mohbad as a case study. May the young charm's soul rest in peace, and everybody, all the upcoming artists on the continent, take a cue from this, Mohbad's experience. It's nice, it's fun when the record label signs you, when they're flying you, when you're traveling without no stress and all that. But don't forget, that's somebody else's hard-earned money that you're spending. And so not everybody is gonna let you walk out of the contract for free. Understand this and know peace. Yeah, this is your boy Present on the Afro Lock-Off Show. Subscribe to this channel, Clickshot Pictures Network, like and share. See you in the next video. Let's go. Hooah!